Jeff Cranson joins us from the Michigan Department of Transportation. Jeff, that along with the reduced revenue that's been coming in to support our roads must have you guys concerned at MDOT.
Well, yeah, I mean, big picture, Dave, the way you set that up is exactly right. There are competing priorities for, what's not enough money. The good news for transportation is it has a dedicated revenue stream and in good times doesn't have to compete with those other priorities for general fund money. The bad news is that dedicated revenue stream took a significant hit as people stayed home for the past 3 months. Most of our revenue comes from fuel taxes and or registrations on cars. People aren't buying cars. People aren't driving as much. In fact, traffic was down, probably 60% on average across the state during late March, April, most of May. It's creeping back now, but it's going to be a while before it gets back to where it was. So, yeah, that's made a significant dent in transportation revenue.
All right, so you already had an enormous challenge trying to keep Michigan's roads in good shape, and now it becomes even more. And yeah, I didn't see anybody on the road. So the 60% number, that sounds conservative to me. But you're the guy with the numbers and the information. So
well, that's on average. So right. Yeah, in Metro Detroit and some of your roads, it might have been even more severe than that, and it depended. I mean, as you know, the pandemic didn't hit some parts of the state as hard, and what you see and the people influences your behavior. So,
well, no question about it. So, Jeff, what you got a game plan?
Well, I know you saw what part of what sparked your interest in this was that Detroit news story talking about what the decline is going to be for fiscal year 2020, and the game plan is that by tightening up, by not filling positions and between the temporary layoff days for state employees and lots of ways that we're trying to, cut back, we can still sustain the road building program in 2020. But 2021 is going to be more problematic. The governor is still committed to her Rebuilding Michigan plan, which, she announced early in the year before the pandemic, and the State Transportation Commission authorized the state to sell $3.5 billion in bonds. We still plan to go to market for some of those, maybe 400, 500 million this year. Some of those projects that'll be funded have already started, and they'll be reimbursed with that bonding money. But a lot of those are still going to go forward next year, 2022, 2023. Significant work on 96 and 696 in Oakland County, major rebuilding of 275, major stretches of 275 in Wayne County. You're still going to see, when we all wake up from this, it's not like the needs went away. Our roads are still what they were. And the reason that the governor ran on that, and it became kind of a national story, her success running on fixing the damn roads. Still very committed to that. And we're hopeful the federal government will come through. I'm sure you saw the news. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
No. Go ahead. Carry on, please. Continue.
Yeah, you saw the news probably that the Michigan Municipal League held a Zoom call with Representatives Dan Kildee and Fred Upton from St. Joe, Republican, Dan Kildee, a Democrat from Flint, who, and Dan's the major sponsor on what would be the fourth phase of stimulus money. That, and this time it would go to cities and states, and the state would get a significant chunk of that. And he seems confident that in July, the Senate will be able to move on that. We think that a big portion of that will go to roads and bridges.
Well, that's good news, and we do need the money. And, moreover, our municipalities, they've been hurt. Their revenue streams have been annihilated as well the state of Michigan and our schools. And there is no local or regional or statewide remedy to these problems. The federal government's either going to step in and help out, or we're going to have a really long struggle on our hands. So we hope that's the case.
Right.
We hope that's the case. No, go ahead.
No, the federal government is going to have to come through here. It's been hard already. The federal gas tax hasn't been raised since 1993. What else can you buy for the same price now that you paid in 1993? And it's long overdue. And maybe this spurs the administration to really look at long-term infrastructure investment and how it can pay dividends, how it can put people back to work in the short term and the long term. In a New Deal kind of way, like Peter DeFazio, the head of House Transportation in Congress, he's a Democrat from Oregon. He has made this, he's equated this to the Great Depression and the need to think in terms of investment now, putting people to work that pays dividends.
Well, there's so many challenges that we have in this current political environment, but the one thing that at least sits out there as a possibility is a greater likelihood that infrastructure investment will be made given the current environment, our current president, current Republicans, and current Democrats, because there's always been such a very clearly defined divide, and that's a lot grayer right now. We only have a minute or two. We'll spend some more time on another day. I appreciate you taking time with us, but we only have a couple of minutes. Why is it that I scratch my head here because I'm perplexed. Why is it that it's so hard to keep our roads in good shape in Michigan? Is there something with our weather or some reason why it seems that we have a harder time with it? Or is it just we're not spending as much money?
We're not spending as much money. I mean, certainly, Ohio has similar soils. It's not completely surrounded by Great Lakes and not half underwater like Michigan is. I mean, definitely the Great Lakes giveth and they taketh away. They present tremendous opportunities for us in terms of recreation, in terms of quality of life, but they also present some big challenges when it comes to things like building infrastructure. So yeah, our soils, mostly clay on your side of the state, mostly sand where I live on the west side of the state, mostly rock up north. It creates all kinds of unique challenges, but other states have those and they deal with it. But Ohio spends $1 billion more a year than Michigan does. And it really comes down to investment. We've underinvested for decades. It's that simple. And, all of the past governors have said that, but none of them have had any real luck agreeing on something big with the legislature. It's going to take something big.
Hey, has the possibility, and I'm sure this debate's been going on for a long time, I've just not been exposing myself to it, the possibility of toll roads getting a greater level of possible acceptance here in Michigan? It seems that people of Michigan have not wanted them over the years.
Well, a bill requiring MDOT to hire a consultant and study tolling over the next couple of years made it out of the Senate back in January and was poised to make it out of the House Transportation Committee yesterday. They canceled that. As you probably know, they canceled all session because of protests in Lansing. So that'll probably happen soon. And the whole House is expected to vote on that. And there'll be a significant study like we've never done before on the feasibility of tolling and what roads would it make sense and where could it be supported in Michigan. So that is actually in the discussion now in a way that it hasn't been, since the early 50s when Michigan had a turnpike commission and abandoned it and decided that tolling, wasn't for Michigan. So
will the governor, you're close to this, will the governor sign that if it gets to her desk?
I think that she is supportive of a study. Yeah, that would not be the same as supporting tolling, but saying that we should definitely look at it, yes.
Okay. Anything else people around the state in the next minute and a half absolutely need to know about MDOT or our roads?
Well, I think, just remember that people that have been driving have stayed on the roads. You've seen the stories from around the country of the incredible speeds and the way people are driving, 80, 90 miles an hour because the roads are clear and it creates a mindset. We're going to go back to some sense of normal, and we already are, and those people are still out there working, and they're going to be working all summer long. So think about those people. Those are your, wives and husbands and brothers and sisters and neighbors that are out there working on the roads, and those private contractors. It can be very, very dangerous work working alongside of traffic. So try to keep that in mind.
Always a good reminder, and I'm about a half a mile away from all the I-75 construction that we see each and every day, and all the other construction around the state. Take it slow and around those workers as you travel this summer. Thank you very much, Jeff, for spending time with us. And what I really like are those sports posters that you have behind you. Clearly, you are a big-time sports fan, as I am as well. So good to see.
Those are when the Free Press did those front pages as posters a few years back, I snatched those up. So yeah, they're pretty cool.
All right, very cool. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us via Zoom. He is Jeff Cranson, the Director of Communications, Michigan Department of Transportation. Good luck with everything, Jeff.